Hello? Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I just jumped in. Sorry for that. We're all ready.
At InXpress today, we've got myself, Steve, and we also have Michelle.
Hi.
And we're going to just walk through a couple of functions that you would be utilizing within our billing system. Within InXpress, we call this XMX. And so this is where the invoices come from the carriers, and the system that we use to invoice out to our customers. So you come in here to check for the franchise's freight invoices. This is where you verify that the costs were what was quoted based on the other systems that we've gone through. And this is where you'd also, if we would create a customer for a franchise, if they've got any freight customers we get set up, this is where you go in and create that. If we need to request adjustments, this is also the system that we utilize. So those are kind of just the few topics that we'll cover here today, and then when Michelle's done, I'll just touch base on the truckload and air freight process, and then we will email over supplemental trainings and supporting documentation topics that we covered on today's call when we're finished up. So if there aren't any questions or initial comments out there, then we'll just have Michelle start from here. Does that sound good? That's good. Oh yeah, can you see our screen here? Are you able to see our screen? Yes. Yes. Okay, good.
Are we supposed to be on the rock solid?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we see it.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hey, hi.
Okay, so we're going to start off on where you would search for your invoices through XMS. So you would log in and make your login. So you're always just going to go here to invoicing, down to search air bills, and it'll pull up the screen that we're on. Now, if you wanted to look up a specific franchise for their specific invoices, you would just put their franchise number up in here. And then you would hit the invoice date on the following Monday, whichever date you were going, so 10/30 would be the one we would want to go on. You just hit search after that, and it would pull up all the invoices, either for that franchise or everybody that you're working with, whatever you specified. So from here, this is what the invoice looks like when it's in XMS. You edit an invoice, you just go here to the pen and paper, and it'll bring up this screen. And in here, you can adjust anything if you wanted to reference an insurance reference certificate number, you could put that in here, anything along those lines. You could put in a calculated charge cost if you needed to change that. And then over here on the accessorials, if there was, if you wanted to mark up insurance, if there was insurance, you put the markup in here. And then the reason why these are grayed out over here is you'd have to email into you can email into the help desk, and you can just let us know what your insurance charge would be or what any other fee would be, so we can add that in there for you. Super easy. You guys can add the markup on yourself. You can choose which accessorial it's for. Say if you wanted to do a residential fee, you can come down here and find it. You would choose which one would be selected. And once you're done with all of your edits, you would just hit save, and it'll add that fee onto there. If there was a cost discrepancy, or if you were needing an adjustment on any of these invoices, if they came in wrong, you would just go here over to the wrench, and you'd request an adjustment. And you would figure out which one you were going to adjust. Most of the time for freight, it'll be an invalid charge or an accessorial dispute, which would be if they reclass, added in a lift gate delivery, anything along those lines.
Yeah, so what I typically do, if you go into base rate dispute, and then rate dispute. And then you could put anything, because most of the charges come through in the base rate. So you could put, you know, if it was reclassed incorrectly, just put the notes in there for the adjustment, and then an adjustment comes through, and then the help desk will work through the adjustment for the process there. And it's the same, like if customers disputing a reclass or reweight, as you've already had your training, you know, we would need the customer packing list or sales order sheet showing what was shipped, along with a copy of the manufacturer spec or the website address listing the product that was shipped and the shipped weight. So typical things you need to dispute something with the carrier. That's what we would need to dispute that on our end.
If you needed to move, we call these area bills right here, which is attached to the invoice, and then it's created, it gets an automatic area bill number. If you needed to move one within the franchise to another customer, you would just hit this little arrow here. You would just select new, and you put in the new customer number in there.
Yeah.
You hit save, and then you would just move it to the following. I'm going to camera that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would just move it to the new account, hit save, and that'll move it. If you need to move it to another invoice date, or that's not the customer's invoice altogether, you will just send in an email to the help desk and request that we move that out to future invoice date and or to a different customer. We just like to keep track of those abilities for you guys.
No, and I've just written down, so I'll send out in the email today the help desk email address, because you'll be interacting with the help desk on various things regarding invoicing and you know, questions that you have from time to time. So we'll make sure you got that contact information as well.
Okay, so we're just going to go over just adding a customer into XMS real quick. You'll want to do this with every freight customer, new freight customer that you get. This is how we do our invoicing, is through XMS. So you'll just come up here to the Accounts tab. So go down to Manage Customers. You'll come over here, you want to make sure you have the correct franchise selected, whichever one you're working with. You're going to hit Add. Always and then hit Create Customer. And this will bring us a new profile for the customer. So you will not be able to add anything or edit anything on this page until you go to the Address tab. And here is where you'll put in the customer's information. You'll always need an address, a city, state, country will be the U.S. You'll always need a phone number. And you'll have to have an email. So from there, all you would was just hit save after you just have the basic information in there. And that will create the customer there. So now here's the customer's profile. And everything that you'll need, the customer number, and everything that you'll need going forward to do your invoice edit. You can also take a look at their invoices through these tabs as well, just to the payments. And you can select all invoices, and that'll basically take you to the same screen we were just on. You just can't make edits to the screen. I think that's basically it for creating your customer.
We have like a how-to on that. Okay. Yeah, so we'll get to you on the PDF or video. So a PDF with screenshot, step-by-step instructions on how to create a customer. And so this would be, of course, if a franchisee says, hey, I've got some great customer, we need to get them set up in XMS, and that's great. So when you first get them set up in XMS, because once the customer is creating XMS, we have this number here, 140,00384. And then that number is what we enter into the freight system, so the AccuFreight, into the global trans system, into the Mercury Gate system, in that customer reference or customer ID field. And that's what links the shipments and the invoices from those shipments into our billing system. That's the link between all that. So that's why it's critical that we set up customers in XMS first. That gives us this account number. And then when we set up the customers in the LTL tools, then they will have that link for billing purposes. Is there any questions on anything that we went through so far?
I have no questions so far. We're fine. I think we'll be clearer once we get the PDF and go step by step. No questions so far.
Okay, very good. So yeah, and we'll also get you the how-tos on the rate adjustments, editing air bills. We've got screenshot PDFs on all those processes as well. But again, this is a system that you'll spend a decent amount of time in as you get shipments coming through, and then making sure that the pricing and everything is correct. Just for example, on this one here, so this is my franchise, some shipments that have come through, so we can see. Like, I know just logging in and looking here, like this shipment here, I know the margins. So it's got here the InXpress cost is in the parentheses, the 143.78, and then the customer charge 183.78, and then the MRG is the margin for the gross profit on the shipment. I just know from experience that that margin is correct, so I can just quick reconcile and then it's done. I will have a few shipments that will not. So here's one right here that has the InXpress cost of $61.79, but does not have the customer rate. So that in this case, what I'll do is I'll go back into AccuFreight and I will pull the quoted cost on this bill of lading. I'll just jump in real quick and see if we can pull that up. If that's in here. If you remember, in AccuFreight, we've got some reporting functionality when it comes to editing invoices. And I went to report and then transaction report. I put in the bill of lading number, which I got out of XMS right here, this 518554 is the bill of lading number for AccuFreight. And so then I just put that number in up here. I widened my date range so I could remember when the shipment took place. And let's see what pulls up. So we can see the sell price to the customer should be $722.27. So from here, we'll just come over and I'll put that in here. Click save. And there you go. That's in there now, and I know that's been reconciled, so just click that, and that invoice is good to go. So it's pretty straightforward on the invoice. You can see like here's another one here that I go back and do the same thing for, confirm the quoted amount with the same process. So in a nutshell, that's the invoice editing. Again, we went through the adjustments if the price is off. Again, you could go into AccuFreight and you could pull up the bill of lading. here's one that is in anti-freight. If there was a reweight or a reclass, there'd be the inspection certificate here. We've got the bill of lading that was scanned and signed for by the driver. And then we can check the delivery receipt if you have any questions, of course. This one came through clean. There shouldn't be any issues. But if there was, you have, like a lift gate or inside delivery checked off, the initial. This one didn't have anything changed around to it, so it's pretty straightforward. And so invoicing within InXpress, invoices come in throughout the week for freight. And then on Thursday afternoon, typically the email goes out from the support center from our office to all of our franchises saying that invoices are in and ready to edit. So whatever you work out with the franchisees that are joining the program, some will get on throughout the week and edit invoices in the evening, and some will get start on Thursday evening or Friday morning and work those days to get everything edited. So at least by Thursday evening or Friday morning, you'll be able to go into XMS and look for the shipments that you've worked on the previous weeks that are now in for invoicing, and you can edit them, make sure that everything looks good, and then on the following Monday afternoon, again Thursday afternoon, the email typically goes out. Yeah, the franchisees have Friday and the weekend, and then Monday morning we clear up any questions or discrepancies they may have. So oftentimes we'll get a lot of calls or emails from franchisees in the future from your group with any questions that you have that you couldn't find within our system that you need help with. We can help with that, especially in the beginning to get a customer everything we'd expect. There'll be questions. So let us know what those questions are. And then Monday afternoon, we what we call freeze these invoices. And these invoices go out to the customers. And once the invoice is frozen, we can't go back in and make any edits under the Airbo edit screen. It would have to be done at that point 100% through the whistle and wedge, through the adjustment process. So we try to get everything done prior to invoices freezing that we can as far as edits. And then if there's anything that needs to be done after that, you do an adjustment request. You can, one thing you can do, so like I was just helping the franchisee before this call, and they had a shipment that we are disputing. We're certain that we're correct because the carrier cannot provide a reweight certificate. They had 2 pallets. One of the pallets was weighed correctly. The other pallet was at 250 pounds, and they put the reweight in at 1,250 pounds. So our thought was that it was just a data input error by the carrier because they haven't been able to provide an inspection, a reweight certificate. It's been a couple of weeks. So what we've done is the franchisee emailed and said, hey, can you just move this invoice out? So we do have the option in a case where we're waiting for a correction to come through that we know is going to get corrected. We can just move the invoice to the next invoicing period. So when the invoice goes out to the customer, it goes out correct. So we delay the invoicing a week or two, but the customer, when they get the invoice, will get the correct amount. So that is an option as well. And again, that'll be, you'll want to coordinate that with the franchisee as far as what they want to do, what their process is within their franchise. But just so you know that is an option that is available as well to push an invoice out a week or two if you're trying to either clarify something, if we've got a correction that's coming through that we're going to get pretty quickly, or if we're not sure if a certain charge is valid or not, we can push those invoices out. Any questions that we've covered at this point?
No questions so far. All sounds good.
Okay, so the last thing I just want to touch base on today was, so we focused mainly on the LTL piece of the franchising business as far as the systems, because that's the mode of transportation that we have systems for. Our franchises also have the option, if they find customers who want to do both truckload and heavy air shipments, we can help them with that. So before I go there, just one other piece that we haven't really talked a lot about. So most franchises also do quite a bit of international small parcel shipments, which with DHL Express. That's the majority of the shipments that InXpress does. And of course, our focus with lean staffing is on the freight side. But just so you're aware, when you're in invoicing and you'll see shipments like right here, the DHL shipment that was processed from one of my customers. So that's a piece of the business that we don't go into with lean staffing, but just be aware that that's something the franchisees work on as well. But as far as full truckload and heavy air freight, we have a list of InXpress carrier partners that our franchisees can reach out to for a truckload quote, heavy air quote, volume LTL quote. If they choose to, they can get into the oceans. We've got some ocean contacts as well. And I will be forwarding over to you today the contact list that we have. And so this will be another talking point to talk through with the franchisees as far as who they use from that list. And they will be pretty specific on who they want to use. They'll confirm who to use. And then we just reach out to those partners, typically via email. We give them the parameters of the shipment that we need to quote on. And then our partners will email us back the InXpress cost. And then the franchisee will designate what the markup is to be for that customer. Then add that markup, and then based on, again, the franchisee's directive, either letting the franchisee know or reaching out to the customer directly. Again, typically it's via email if they have a written quote. But of course, so those processes on the truckload and the heavy air freight, those are a manual process where the information will come in via email, and then we in turn email out to our partners for rate. They get back to us, and then we let the customer know the end rates and what we can do for them based on the pricing that we've gotten back. And again, I will send over our carrier contact list, and the franchisees will be the director, and they will give a directive as far as who they want to use when working with customers on those truckload and air freight options. Okay. Any questions on that? No question. Okay. So again, in AccuFreight, there was a tab for truckload. That's not active, so you can't get a truckload quote through AccuFreight. I know that Mercury Gate, in different applications, they've got abilities to get truckload ratings. We haven't had a lot of success with truckload ratings through the Mercury Gate option with Great Logistics. I'm not aware of any franchises that get truckload quotes through them. We just had too many issues with getting what was an estimated rate and then finding trucks that would cover the loads for the rates that we were getting out of the system. So due to those issues, for the most part, the franchisees were just getting spot rates on the truckload and of course on the heavy air freight. So with that, is there any questions on this or from previous days trainings that anyone has questions on as we've been going through the system?
Well, no, my questions are, I think, will be directly to the person in charge of the franchise.
Okay.
No questions so far about the previous data or system.
Okay. So I do know we are still pushing from our side to get the login and passwords for the Global Trans system. Other than that, you should have all of the logins after I send you the information from today's call, and that kind of covers the systems that you would have access to. So now I guess my next question is, once you've had time to go through, I am happy to host additional webinars on any systems, or if you just want to do a conference call and ask questions on anything you guys have going on. I don't know if you want to schedule those now, or if you want to go back and go through everything and then get back to.
Awesome. We have been able to, every time that when our training finishes or when we have a video, what we do, we go ahead and review it, and we're working with the guys on it. We just the reason I got late in the meeting was we were on with the franchise in Oregon, and they're big on blue grays. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if we have been able to cover blue grays so far, or is it something that we'll be covering within future webinars. Cool. I just want to make sure that we had gone over it. I feel that we're pretty confident. We're big on Mercury Gate and at this point, so we're pretty comfortable with that. Rock solid. Just to let you know, when I was doing dispatch for one of our LTL accounts or for DHL, I was able to use rock solid, so I'm very familiar with this, which is great. I was taking a look at it, and we'll be able to write support on that as well. Definitely.
I think also we're needing a login for March cargo system for the insurance.
I believe we have that already.
I believe, let me see.
For March Carter, they just barely sent it this morning, so yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if I sent it this morning or late yesterday. So yeah, you should have that in your hands now. If you're missing anything, let me know. We'll be sure to get that to you. Again, so all of the logins that I sent over are specifically for my franchise 140. So when you start engaging, so like Keith Morgan, he will give you logins for his franchise. And so my logins wouldn't help you in any way with Keith because it's specific to each franchise. My logins are to help your team get familiar with the system, get do demo accounts and just go through and process quotes and what have you, so that you're familiar with the system and comfortable. And then the franchisees, as they come on, will give you their specific logins for the system. Not all of them. I'd say most franchises will use one system mainly and not every system. That's not our intention.
Good.
Well, good. So with that, then I guess we'll end today's call, and I'll send over the email with the supplemental training PDFs from our topics today, as well as the contact list. And then I'll maybe just follow up in a day or so and see how things are going, and see if you guys want to have another webinar. I'm happy to go over any system again. Again, it's not an issue for us to spend as much time as needed to make sure that you guys are comfortable and have everything you need. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me at any time of questions. We want to do everything that we can to make this just as successful as possible. We'd love to see, all of our franchises engaging with lean staffing, so that we have a really big team there that's supporting all of our franchises. That's what we'd love to see.
Sure. If there's any further question, we'll come back to you and I'll give you a call.
Yeah, we are very excited to start as well.
Great. Well, thank you all very much again for your questions and participation. We'll end this, and I will put an email together with our call-up items so that we've got additional access and training tutorials.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.